From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show, including Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot. Do a little shopping at the SOR Vault. Sign up for the SOR Space Travelers Club for $5 a month. Pick up a new book on We Read the Night. And don't forget, Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire is updated daily. Tonight's show is brought to you by CHIVE Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by donating to CHIVE Charities today. You can find them on our website. We're taking a look tonight at our spirit guides and totems, along with what they mean for each and every one of us. Tonight we are joined by mystic Kornisha Lemon. Kornisha is a shaman, writer, healer, and teacher with incredible prophetic and healing gifts. Part of her gift is to help people be blessed, bless others, and be at peace on their journeys. What you do is coming back to you. Sometimes if it's not very good, it could be tenfold. Make sure that it is good, and all is well within you, she says, through you and around you. The source sees all, knows all, and you got to respect that. Kornisha's website is Kornisha.com. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, I will bring you the SOR Newswire, brought to you by Paranoia Magazine. Kornisha Lemon, thank you for coming on Spaced Out Radio for the first time tonight. Really appreciate it. I'm excited about this one. Very excited.
Yes, thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Kornisha, when did you start realizing that you had these incredible personal gifts that you needed to start helping people? How old were you when this happened?
I was 5 years old when I decided that there was something special and unique about me. I just felt different. So I'm a family of 13. There's 13 of us. So I'm child number 7 out of 13 kids from my mom and dad. And growing up, we grew up in the church, and we were Christian and apostolic religion. And I just felt so different, like I was meant to do something more, to see the world differently than how I was taught. And as I grew older, around 12, I started to develop physical paralysis. And so it was at that time that I had a near-death experience. And that's when my gift sort of amplified. And from then on, I started to discern things and see things in a higher light than others would see them. And so since then, I've been channeling this information that I've received.
Channeling is such an interesting thing to discuss, and we're going to get into that later tonight. That transformation that you had in yourself, how did it affect you? How did you deal with it? Because if you're at a young age and you have something like that happen and you are trying to figure it out on your own with really no help, and probably had to do it a little bit more quiet because of the family within the church and everything like that, how did you deal with that?
So I dealt with it through the power of prayer at first. Because what had happened to me was, it was dark magic that was placed on me at such a young age. And I knew it. I knew that there was something that was not right, that was off. And as I began to identify, with spirit what it was, I was able to heal myself and to think myself healed. And I would identify with the energies that were holding me down and holding me back, and realize that this is not my final destination, that I have something bigger that's in store for me, because I'm being fought so hard and so strongly. So that's what got me through, knowing that there was something on the other side of that mountain. And when I say mountain, I'm referring to the spiritual adversity of physical paralysis.
So when you had that near-death experience, for people who have never experienced that, What is that like? What did you go through? What did you see?
So when I had a near-death experience, I actually ended up in the hospital, and the doctors, they couldn't find out what was wrong with me, and they couldn't find a pulse, but I was awake to them, but I was sort of dead to the world, and I felt dead. And during this process, I received sort of like a channel from the highest power I call God. And this voice that spoke to me said it was going to take me to higher and higher places. And later on in life, I've heard that voice ever so often when I'm in trouble or when I'm going through an adversity. But at that very moment when I was having that near-death experience, it was like that still small voice that told me to keep going and that there was a higher purpose in my pain. And so the near-death experience taught me to look above the mountains, to look beyond what I see. And the experience, it's like a great depression that you go through. It's like a dark night of the soul. And when I say dark night of the soul, I'm talking about depression, harsh anxiety, sadistic thoughts, and just really not feeling like yourself and not feeling like you can go on. And that's what I mean by by experiencing a near-death experience for me.
So when you had that, yeah, and I understand it is different for everybody, Kornisha. When you have that near-death experience, did you feel pain? Did you feel fear? Were you afraid to face yourself? Because many out there who go through that, they almost seem embarrassed because when they are showed every error and mistake they made in their life, it's very difficult to look at when it's shown right back to you.
Right. So I didn't feel much pain other than the physical paralysis. It's like if you ever experience like a hag riding you when you're sleeping. It's sort of like a feeling like you want to move and you're kind of beating yourself up so that you can wake up. So it was sort of like that for me. So more or less like a suffocation than pain. Like I was unable or incapable of walking on my own. Incapable of moving myself from one point to another. And I didn't feel like myself. It was like I felt hollow, like sort of like if you carve out a coconut and you take the shell and you set it off to the side and you eat the coconut. That's sort of that feeling that I had, as opposed to pain. And the pain that I did feel was more mental and spiritual, more so like I didn't care if I died or lived. So that's the kind of pain that I went through with this near-death experience.
Did you see loved ones? Did they pass you any messages?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So my grandmother, she actually came to me while I was awake. So I receive a lot of messages in my waking life. And when I say waking life, I'm referring to when I'm awake, sitting at the computer. When I'm getting into an argument or a dispute, I receive messages. So I received a message from my grandmother for me to hold on, and I would see visions clairvoyantly, and I would like from ascended masters such as Dr. King, the now saint in the afterlife. She was inducted. So she's a saint now. But anyway, she gave me a message to keep going and to love myself anyway, and to see myself in a higher light. And so I also received messages from angels through the numbers, and I would receive synchronicities through the animals around me, and I could just sort of look at an animal in the eyes and sort of pick up a message from them. For example, my grandmother, she came to hold my hand when I was in the dark, I was in the dark in my bedroom, and she came to hold my hand, and it felt so cold, as though she was there with me, even though I knew that there was no one else in the room physically. But I could feel her, and I could sense her, and she would speak to me. And that's what kept me going, and that's what brought me here to this very point.
Kornisha Lemon is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. When you started learning from that experience, what did you find in your own gifts that all of a sudden became more profound?
Okay, so what did I find in my own gift that became more profound? I feel that as I grew in my power and in my gift, the profound aha moment for me was to accept myself, to love myself, and to unlearn the things that my dad or my teachers had taught me. So people, when I say teachers, I'm referring to people that have been in my life up until that point. So that could be a relative, that could be a friend, that could be a life lesson. And so as I start to unlearn all those things, because we grew up in religion, and as I start to let go of Christianity, of apostolic faith, and latch hold to the divine, and truly see it through the eyes of psychic ability, intuitive ability, and not condemn it for what they taught me it was, and accept it as a gift that God had truly gave me, and see it as that. That was my aha moment. Like my sacrifice in that time was, I didn't care if I was going to burn in hell for my beliefs or for the gift that God gave me, because I felt that it was going to be used for a higher purpose. It was worth the sacrifice. So that's my aha moment for me.
That sounds amazing. When did you figure that it was time to start putting into gear and helping other people? Was it almost immediate, or was it something you had to get used to?
It was something I had to get used to, because at first, once again, I was transitioning, and I was still living at home with my parents, and I was transitioning into accepting myself and not worrying about what they thought of me. I had already begun to feel that way, but it was really later on in life, I'll say around 17 or 18, I started to find my own way and start to realize that something wasn't right. Something is a little off, or something is missing in my life. I start to feel that empty feeling again, that depression. And that's how usually the spirit comes, is it sends a spirit of depression to let you know that something's off, so that you can go and discover yourself and find out who you truly are, as opposed to what people tell you who you are. And that was like my turning point. So 16, 17, I was starting to feel sad in my spirit, like there was something more out there for me. And then that's when I started to get into my rituals of cleansing and saging and removing away the generational curses and generational beliefs that were passed on to me, that I may have inherited or that I may have planted there myself. And that's how I got to where I am now. And I wouldn't be here if I had listened to every naysaying word that my parents have spoke over me, or a naysaying word that my friends or other relatives may have spoken over me, or the beliefs I held within myself because of those fears.
Did you ever have those fears of all of a sudden communicating with spirits, whether they were alive, whether they were dead, whether they were animals, channeling? Like, were you fearful of going down that rabbit hole?
No, actually, it's kind of creepy, but I actually loved going to funerals. I actually was the strong one of the family. When everybody else around me was crying, I just felt so content. Like, why is everybody crying? They were 98 years old. They lived their life. What is wrong with everybody? Why is they crying? And so I was the oddball that kind of held everybody else up. And I think I always felt emotional when I saw everybody else crying. And I knew then that I had some type of empathic ability to be able to pick up on the other emotions and energy in the room. And so that's that story. I never feared speaking with spirits because I felt they understood me more. The dead understood me more than the people that were alive, if that makes any sense.
So you never had a fear of death. See, I am completely opposite of you. Completely opposite. Death scares the living crap out of me. Absolutely scares the living crap out of me. And it wasn't until I had my own experiences that it's calmed me down. Like, I would have anxiety attacks about it, Kornisha, where I would be like running down the street screaming. I would be so freaked out about dying. It's not so bad now. I think that's why I gained weight, so I wouldn't have to run down the roads anymore. I could just, waddle my way down now. But nonetheless, it scares the daylights out of me, and it scares a lot of people because you know what? We like it here. We may not like the situations that are on this planet, but I would say the majority of us on this planet, we like it here. We like being alive. We like trees. We like nature. We like other people. We like our dogs. We like our cats, But the thought of extinction is very tough on a personal level.
Right. Well, I will admit that when I had my daughter, that fear did pop up for the first time ever, because before I would prepare myself for death. I would get rid of writings so no one else could steal them and claim them as their own, and I would just get rid of things so that I would leave nothing behind, and that's the honest truth. But when I had my daughter, it was totally different. I was like, okay, I got something to live for now, and I really don't want to die now. I want to see my daughter when she gets into adulthood. But before then, I didn't have that fear, but I did have it for a fleeting moment when she was born.
Well, I was going to ask you that because you're a brand new mom, and congratulations on having a healthy baby girl 5 months ago. That is just, to me, one of the greatest miracles that we have on this planet is the miracle of life. And I've been fortunate where I've watched both my children being born. I would never miss out on that. And I highly recommend anybody who is going to be a first-time parent or a second-time parent, go into the delivery room. It's scary as anything. There's a lot of weird tools around there, but the outcome is pretty fantastic. And I was the first one to get to hold my kids, so I got bragging rights there. But nonetheless, your daughter is now 5 months old, and I realize as an infant, it's very hard to judge what her reactions and everything are because there's really no translation book for it. But are you starting to notice anything special about her?
Oh, definitely. She's very smart for her age, and it's like she's getting these words out of nowhere. Like when she was 4 months, she started talking, but at 3 she was starting to say a few words, and then at 2 months we would just stay up. We would stay up at night, like at least 5 minutes before she go to bed, and she would just make baby sounds and just look me in my eye. And then now at 5 months she's more advanced, and I'm like, wow, this baby she's something else. She's not a normal baby, and she's special, and she's unique, and I've got to protect her. And the thing I've noticed is that she says Dada a lot, but then she puts other words together with it. She says, go get Dada. Where's Dada? And she also said, she said, okay. I said, I'm going to go and put on my pants and get dressed, and we're going to take a shower. And she said, okay. I'm like, what? What is this? And so that gets me really excited that she's talking and she understands what I'm saying. And she's only 5 months, and I have not taught her anything. I just just talk to her, and I don't even recall mentioning those words that she's telling me. I'm like, wow, she's blowing my mind. So I believe she's really included.
I'm going to assume, too, that she already has Daddy wrapped around her little fingers as well.
Yes, she does.
Your hubby's a wimp. You realize that he is a big wimp for that, and I say that very proudly as a father of a daughter who has me absolutely wrapped around her finger. I even got a 16-year-old stepdaughter who has me wrapped around her fingers. It drives me nuts, absolutely nuts. It's not fair, not fair at all. Kornisha, we have about 2 minutes here before we are going to go to break at the bottom of the hour. In regards to, seeing yourself transform and now watching it transform through your first child here, is there a lineage in your family that these gifts have been passed on?
Oh, definitely. So my grandmother, she's Cherokee descent, so she had some intuitive abilities that she passed on to my father, who's prophetic. He's still alive. So my father passed on those prophetic gifts to me. And my father could sort of make things happen through the power of prayer, and I've inherited that ability. And then my mother, my great-grandfather on her side, was also prophetic. He could see things, and they would come to pass like that. And then my mom, she also inherited that gift and passed it on to me. She could hear things and hear and see things. And then her mother was able to heal, and her mother's sister had a gift of healing. And so all of those lineages were passed on to me, since my mom is of African descent and my father is of Native American descent.
Interesting. Wow. I mean, from African descent, there's all of the spirituality that comes from that beautiful continent, and then the First Nations, American Indian descent. You're getting it from all levels. No wonder you turned out the way you did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm really grateful. I'm really honored and blessed. Yes.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Kornisha, I'm going to get you to hold on here for just a couple of minutes because we are going to go to break at the bottom of the hour. Kornisha Lemon is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We're going to get into some spirit guides and totems starting next half hour. I don't know which one yet. I haven't figured that out. I'll flip a coin on that and see where it ends. I don't know. Maybe I'll use my pendulum on that. See where we could go. Her website, Kornisha.com, if you want to check it out. We're going to have some fun tonight, getting into all the Zen, the Chi, the spirituality we can handle. Turn up the woo factor, because we're going to have some fun coming up next on Spaced Out Radio.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the CHIVE and CHIVE Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, CHIVE Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Finish off your weekend and kick off your new week with me, Everett Thiemer, right here on Spaced Out Sundays. I'm going to bring you great guests, a little bit of snark, and plenty of information to think about. But don't worry, there's going to be plenty of woo as well. We are going to hit everything in the paranormal and supernatural, including the odd Psychic Sundays. So tune us in on Sunday, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio, you can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Looking for something new to push your limits? Look Beyond the Spectrum, a new docuseries featuring some of the best researchers in the world when it comes to everything from UFOs, government cover-ups, and Bigfoot in the forest. Truth seekers like Steve Bassett, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, Richard Dolan, as well as others all chip in to bring their knowledge to you. Beyond the Spectrum can be found on Amazon as well as Tubi TV. Tell us what you think on our Amazon page.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters in the frozen Canadian tundra. Well, it's not really frozen just yet, but soon enough. Hey, I want to remind all of you, if you've missed portions of this show or others, you can always check out our free YouTube channel, youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, and boy, do we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot. Read up on Captain Shirt's SOR Newswire. We got the Space Travelers Club up and running, $5 a month. Come join us in the chat room there. It's a lot of fun. Also, pick up your SOR swag by going to the vault. T-shirts, hoodies, sweaters, pillows, socks. Yeah, go get them. It's going to be fun. And you got to check it on out because you look good in that. Tonight we are talking with Kornisha Lemon. We are talking spirit guides and totems, how to communicate. We're going to get into the whole gamut of the Zen and Chi because we're having a good time tonight. Her website, Quornesha.com. If you want to check it out, I highly suggest you do. A lot of good information there. Kornisha, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I learned during the break that your hubby's name is David. So, I mean, that's a power name. Very good power name. Strong, manly name. Seems like a pretty good guy, too. So good for you on that one. Now, let me ask you this. Somebody like you starts dating someone, all right? You're in the courting phase, and you start getting readings on someone. Are you reading them to look at all their dirty secrets, get into that spooky side of the closet that nobody wants to, admit to?
Well, yeah, because you don't want to get into it with a creepy person. And when I say creepy person, I'm referring to a person who has an unforgivable past or something that they can't walk away from. And so you have to do your due diligence spiritually, as well as communication-wise. And so, yeah, I sort of did do my readings on him at first, to sort of see if he was a right fit for me, and there's that.
Very cool, very cool. We're going to get into spirit guides here, because I want to be able to check that out and see what's going on. Because for a lot of people, they don't know who they are. They don't know even if they have them. Tell us what you know about spirit guides. Who are they?
Okay, the spirit guides can be anybody from a grandma, an ancestor. Sorry, my baby's crying.
Oh, baby's getting up.
Anybody. Sorry.
That's okay. Don't apologize. It's a little one. She's 5 months old. She's allowed.
So a spirit guide can be anybody from a grandma who's deceased. It could also be a living person. So you can have spirit guides that are living and here in the land of the living. And it could be people that have passed on. It could be even animals, like a pet that you've had when you were a kid. They can become spirit guides. Spirit guides could also be angelic beings. It could be people that have walked the earth and are no longer with us, like maybe somewhere in the 1800s, or even further back, like Jesus or Moses. Any of those could be spirit guides.
Interesting. So who are yours? Oh,
wow. I have a whole village. It takes a village for me because what I realize is that being highly intuitive and highly empathic also has its dark side where you can get a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress also. And when you're picking up on all this energy, you need somebody that you can rely on. So I feel like Maya Angelou is one of my spirit guides. I feel like Dr. Martin Luther King is one of my spirit guides. I feel that people here in the land of the living are some of my spirit guides. It could be a celebrity, it could be a friend or a family member that I receive messages from, either in a dream or in my waking state. And when I say waking state, once again, I'm talking about when I'm awake. and I can clairaudibly hear something that they're telling me as a message of encouragement or correction. And there's nothing wrong if the spirit guides correct you in a loving, powerful way, because that lets you know that there's a higher power at work that's looking out for you so that you can stay on the right path.
Right. Okay. So does everybody have them?
Does everybody have them? No. Unfortunately, there are people that have lower vibrations, such as demonic forces that are ruling their spirit, and so they don't have higher powers to sort of guide them. And these could be people who are pedophiles, people who are murderers or suicidal, and so their spirit guides are sort of in the background, sort of in the sunken place, and their demonic guides are more prevalent.
I never knew you could have demonic spirit guides.
Yes, you can.
Would that be because people are of the darkness, or they have an attachment to something evil?
So you can have demonic spirit guides based on your inheritance also. So let's say someone has did something in the past, like let's say for example, if a slaver reincarnated into this life and he had some debt to pay to the slaves, he would probably have more demonic spirit guides than loving ones, because he has to pay for what he did. And for example, let's use a murderer, like a mass murderer or a serial killer. Their demonic guides would be more prevalent and would speak to them to do sadistic things, and they would perform those sadistic acts. And there would be positive vibrations that tell them that's not the right thing to do, and they would ignore that and go with what the demonic spirit guide would tell them to do.
Can an evil spirit guide overpower one that is of the good, of the light of God, whatever you want to call it?
If you're strong, it won't be able to overpower it. There's a way that you can expel and transmute those demonic lower frequencies, and we all experience demonic lower frequencies. But when you're strong and you know who you are, you can easily refute those spirits and let them know you know who you are, you know where you stand, and you know which side you're on. And so they cannot always overpower, but they can. It's possible.
I'm just trying to picture this, because I never knew that was possible. In all the conversations I have had with people in regards to this, I didn't realize that demonic entities could attach on and literally shove your own spirit guides to the side and say, hey, boys and girls, we're taking over.
Oh, yes, definitely, especially when there's karmic balance to pay. So if you have something that you've done in the past that it's time to pay up for, then it would justify that spirit access into your energy to be able to work against you in ways that you never thought were possible. And it could cause disease. It could cause you to be suicidal. It could cause a person to be just act in satanic ways that they never would have imagined themselves doing. So it's very much possible.
So does one then have to cleanse themselves spiritually in order to get rid of these entities? How do they get rid of the darkness?
Well, you can also ground yourself. So you can use natural energy, which is the sun, the moon. Nature is a very grounding technique, like walking on the grass. Even sometimes visiting cemeteries. But if you're dealing with such dark forces, I would not recommend visiting cemeteries, because you never know what kind of spirits may follow you home, or what kind of how many more demons are going to attach themselves to you as a result of what you already have. And I think it's all about spreading positivity and good karma, doing good things, And that way you can clear your karmic debt. So let's say, for example, if you know that you've done good things up to now, if your integrity is clear, if your conscience is clear, and you've only done good things, and you've only used spirituality as a means of self-defense. And when I say as a means of self-defense, let's say, for example, if you're under psychic attack and you reverse that energy back to someone, you cannot be punished for that type of self-defense. But if you're just sending negative energy out there just to harm people or just to cause chaos, then, of course, you awaken demonic forces to attach themselves to you. And then you start to do things that you would never have done before. And the way to get that cleared is to go through the process and let it go with the flow and let it ride itself out.
Kornisha Lemon is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We're talking spirit guides right now. Okay, let's focus on the good stuff here because, we don't want to bring in any dark forces here. I don't want to have to start dropping elbows on demons in the studio, right? But as we look towards our own guides, how does somebody get in touch with them if they haven't? How do we find that inner self to open up and unlock that door?
Okay, so if you want to get in contact with your own spirit guides, I recommend creating an altar space. You can create an angelic altar space by buying angelic statues. You can even just, if you can't afford to buy objects, you can always just use your innate abilities, such as affirmation. And I highly recommend that when you're trying to contact the spirit guides, that you touch something, like touch the earth, touch the floor, or put your hands up towards the ceiling, and just ask to receive and say, "I am open to receive messages from my spirit guides, and I am receptive to all the good things that they have to allay to me." And you would say a personal prayer to your specific situation, and you would start to journal. Have a pen and paper ready to journal the inclinations that you receive, and that's a form of channeling.
So does one have to be religious in order to find their spirit guides?
No, you don't have to be religious at all. Just come with an open mind, an open spirit, open heart, and be ready to receive. You just have to be receptive. And just a mustard seed of faith, and you'll see the doors open wide. Now, when you're working with orishas, it's totally different. You may have to be a little bit more religious because the orishas are also they're also acknowledged and recognized in the Catholic faith base. So you may have to become a little bit more religious if you want to go, if you want to elevate, such as, for example, if you were a Rosicrucian, or if you were to get into the positive effects of the voodoo, of the obia, you do have to become a little bit more religious and get in touch with that higher power. But when you want to get in touch with like the spirit guides, it's just something that is very simple, and we're all connected to them. It's just a matter of how we want to connect to them and when we want to connect to them and why. So it's very simple, very cut and dry, cookie cutter.
Kornisha, with people who want to get in touch, we always say we don't know how. What's the easiest way to do that? Is it to get yourself a pendulum? Is it meditating? Is it tea leaves? Is it some sort of, intuition that you have to find on your own?
I recommend one tool, whether it's tarot, pendulum, crystal ball, or crystals, or even herbs. I recommend just one tool, and then to ask the spirit, you could say, highest spirit, I ask you to teach me how to use this object. Teach me how to use these tea leaves. Teach me what it is I need to know about myself, about my past, about my future. Teach me so that I can elevate and move forward. You have to be open to learning, and so that's how the spirit guides work.
Are all spirit guides spirits of former people, maybe people that have never incarnated on this planet, or do we get into animals and angels and all sorts of weird things? Maybe even a little bit of aliens, because I like a good alien every now and again.
Yes, definitely. So your spirit guides, once again, can be anything. It could be an animal. It could be an image. It could be a person that's already here in the land of the living. It could be a place, such as a monument or a tree. So whatever that exists in the physical realm or in the spiritual realm, you could make it a guide. Say, for example, if I were to go to the park and ask like an olive tree to teach me what it is I need to know to make a decision in a new career. If I start to touch that tree and receive messages, that means that those messages are coming from that tree. And I have to, sort of how I get the symbolic messages, that's sort of like a spirit guide. You get messages from angels, like Archangel Michael, Saint Joseph, and all the other ones that you may be related to or connected to. Those could be spirit guides, such as a Siamese cat. If you have a relationship problem, you may be drawn to the Siamese cat. And you could use a Siamese cat as a spirit guide to help you in your troubling relationship. So spirit guides just means that you're getting guidance from the spirit. So you can use anything there is, because everything that exists it has a spirit. Even a home itself has a spirit to it. Each home that is on this planet that was built by man's hand has a spirit to it. Each home has its own angel. Each home has its own guardian and its protector, as well as its own demons or whatnot, or alien energy. And even aliens can be spirit guides. So if you wanted to receive higher intelligence, an alien could also represent a super genius human being, such as the ones who descended here on Earth. You can also make contact with a higher intelligence, the higher infinite power.
Do we all have that ability to connect, though? Because there are some people who may be so lost spiritually that they have trouble finding themselves or getting in touch with themselves.
We're not, as much as people would like to say we all have an intuitive psychic ability or gift, I'm going to have to say no, that we're not all able to connect. Because, for one, if we're all able to connect and hear that still small voice, or we're able to identify it, then why aren't we all doing well? Why aren't we all doing great things? So a lot of us are more psychic than the others because many of us are meant to lead, and there's some of us who are only meant to follow because they're not ready in this lifetime. And so I'm going to have to say that no, not everybody can hear. Not everybody can connect with the spirit guides like others can.
We've only got a couple minutes before we have to go to break at the top of the hour. Kornisha Lemon is our guest tonight. Kornisha, with spirit guides, and we want to get in touch with them, what messages should we be listening for, especially if they're of the light?
If they're of the light, I would listen to how to heal our world right now, like what is needed to put people who are balanced into power, because I feel that there's nothing wrong with having a government, but it's a matter of how they're controlling, how they're ruling, how they're using those resources. So I think that we should listen in to how to put those people into power and how we can help heal this world with, recycling things and using the energy that's already here, and not be so selfish and focused on our problems, but focus on the world as a whole. And I think that's what we should be listening to, and not to just blind out or blot out or just have a deaf tone to our own needs, but to look at the bigger picture also. And I think that's what we need to tune into when we ask the spirit guides for guidance, to ask for our own personal needs, and also ask how can we help in the elevation and illumination of our world.
Do you believe then that with the power of being able to communicate with your spirit guides that it can improve your daily life?
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Do you think that with the actions of getting to know your spirit guide that it can improve your daily life?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. There are times when I've asked the spirit guides to show me how to move away from toxic people, how to move away from my own toxic self, toxic habits that I've had, and how to move away from toxic relationships. So a lot of things I've asked the spirit guide for, and they've shown up every time because I was open, I was receptive, and I did not always believe in my gifts, and at times I've doubted it, but they always showed up because I was ready.
Cool. Very cool. Well, you know what? I think it's something that people need to learn a little bit more of. I know I have been able to get a hold of a couple of my spirit guides, and I always find that little voice so darn accurate. Way too accurate for me. Sometimes I hate that voice. I do. I'm not going to lie. I hate that voice sometimes because it's always right.
Right, because it could be very correcting. Like, let's say we're being abusive emotionally to a spouse and we don't intend it that way. The spirit guide can let us know that you're wrong. You know, you shouldn't talk to him that way. You shouldn't talk to her that way. Just come off a little softer next time. And so we have to be corrected. We have to be open to correction. And you can't always be receptive to being right. Just be open to correction also.
You got that right. I'm going to get you to hold on right there because we're going to go to break at the top of the hour. Kornisha Lemon is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. And when we come back, we're going to get into totems. What do totems mean? How do they affect us? How do they describe our lives? What about animal totems? Oh, yes, the old mountain lion that haunts Dave. We'll find out more on Spaced Out Radio in Hour 2 next.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot THAL. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Come hang out with Spaced Out Radio, where we own the night. This is Carl. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and during the show, use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio to chat with us live. On Instagram, at Dave Scott SOR. On Facebook, give our page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. SOR archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. Come join us, or I will come join you. See you at your window.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
Are you having encounters with the paranormal, supernatural, or ufological that you cannot explain? Look no further than the SOR Sightlines Report, brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. This is Ryan Stacy, head of the Research Association, TESA. Soon on the Spaced Out Radio website, you'll be able to file your reports and have them researched for you. We are independent and ready to help Spaced Out Radio listeners today.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
Hi there, this is Geraldine Orozco from San Francisco's Bay Area Meditation. I invite you to join me the first Tuesday of every month with Dave Scott for Spaced Out Radio's The Spiritual You. In this fast-paced world we live in, it's time for you to take some time for you. We'll cover every possible subject from powerful meditation to healing techniques to your own intuition and spirituality. So come join us for The Spiritual You.
Hey Spaced Out Radio fans, it's John Resig, founder of the CHIVE and CHIVE Charities. Our goal is to make the life of veterans, first responders, and those with rare medical conditions 10% happier. We do this by donating one grant item, ranging from dance to therapy programs to prosthetic limbs, to those who need it most. To contribute to Spaced Out Radio's official charity, head over to chivecharities.org and become a donor today.
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Hey, this is Canadian Paranormal Investigator Mike Moore. The third Wednesday of every month, I'll be teaming up with Dave Scott to bring you Ghosts of the Great White North. Each month, we will bring on guests from across Canada to discuss their ghostly encounters. Canada is a paranormal hotbed with stories you've never heard, so we're going to bring them to you. So get comfy on your Chesterfield, grab a donut, and join us, eh?
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Thiemer. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Hour 2 is underway of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Great to have each and every one of you with us. Reminder that you can listen to us on KDUN, AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon, KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California, WQEE 99.1 FM in Newnan, Georgia, UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans, and down in Dangerfield, Texas, KDNF, AM 1560. On the digital side, we are proud to broadcast on Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. Don't forget, you can check out all of our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. I don't even know how to pronounce this. Acer Secomic? Is that how it is? Acer Secomic is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website, spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. Let's check them on out, shall we? You can join the SOR Space Travelers Club for $5 a month. You need new clothes, swag, with our logo on it? Go to the SOR Vault. Rock out to Bumblefoot. Get a new book at We Read the Night. And, of course, Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire is updated daily. Tonight we are talking with Kornisha Lemon. We're getting into totems here coming on up, as this has been a fun show so far. Her energy is just fantastic. Check out her website, Kornisha.com. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
I want to start off with a question from our audience before we get things going, because we like to add them in. Over on LGAB, Haderach is asking, why do we need tools to be able to contact our spirit guide or guides? What if we are unable to get these tools?
You don't necessarily need tools. It's just a suggestion. So you could also just use your innate natural gifts if you feel that you already have something within you that's calling you to connect with the spirit guide. You can always connect with them naturally and organically without tools. The tool is just so that you could feel some sense of confidence or to build your confidence. It's just for beginners.
Gotcha. All right. I hope that answered the question. Follow up. If it is spiritual, should it not be something we should just be able to do without having to go through these several different items and act like we are doing something or some type of spell?
Okay. Can you repeat the question one more time?
All right. I can totally do that. He's asking, if it is spiritual, should it not be something we should just be able to do without having to go through several different items and act like we are doing some type of spell?
That's true. You can access the spirit guides without tools. In fact, I actually started without tools. It's just some people, they prefer something that they could see, and so they use tarot cards. They use pendulums. They use crystal balls because it gives them some sense of confidence and comfort that, okay, I could see it. You know, people, they get really irritated easily, and if they don't see results immediately, they can get frustrated and quit. And so that's why the tools were designed and created. But as you learn to connect with them naturally, you'll find out later on that you no longer need those tools, and you can connect with them within, because that's where they always have been. They've been connected from the inside, from an internal source that you can always reach out to through prayer or even going out into nature.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, let's move on to totems here. Actually, I should check the other chat room and see if there is any other questions in here. Make sure I didn't miss any. No, I think we're good for right now. All right, let's move on to totems. What exactly is a totem?
Okay, so your totem are animals that you call upon for assistance. Let's use protection, for example. If I feel that I'm under a psychic attack, I would call upon my totem. For example, the black jaguar is able to cleanse, transmute, and purify energy all at the same time. Being that it's black or that it's melanated beneath all those, on top of all those spots, it's like a symbolic, it's a symbolic representation of power, in that it's able to see things that are hidden. So sort of like work on the mysterious energy that other people cannot feel that you can. And so I would call upon the totem. For example, I would say I conjure the black jaguar to clear my space, clear my spirit, clear my mind, and I only welcome peace, serenity, and tranquility into the space now. And so that's sort of like calling down the totem to work on your behalf, to protect you, and to cleanse out negative energy that's being planted into your mind, whether it's through empathic means or whether it's through telepathic means, or whether it's through an object that may be in your home.
So when we talk about totems, the most of us, we think about the indigenous people, American Indians, First Nations, and the great pieces of artwork that they carve into trees.
Right.
And the symbolism of each animal that is on there. So when we talk about totems on this side, how do they differ from what First Nations people do?
So it doesn't differ very much. It's just a matter of intention. So the indigenous people, I know that they use a lot of dream catchers. I don't mean to offend anybody, but the native people, they craft a lot of art, and they use actual skin of the animals, like, for example, the buffalo. They may use elk skin to make coats to use as a sense of protection. They may use snake skin to provide for medicinal purposes. So a person who's just intuitive in practicing a totem, the way it would differ is that they would call on that totem for protection, whereas the indigenous people, they actually use the actual animal, an essence of that animal, for a sense of protection. And that's how they make the dream catchers. That's how they make the coats or the rugs or a piece of artifact that they could place in the home to watch over them. And in some traditions, they may even use the blood of that animal. And so it's like a ritualistic purpose as opposed to just calling upon it energy-wise. And so that's how it differs.
Catherine is asking if a totem can be created accidentally.
I've never heard of that before, but I believe so. I believe you can accidentally create a totem. Like, for example, if you're really attracted to the hummingbird, and you didn't even call upon this totem, and it just shows up when you know your life is in danger, just to kind of just sort of prevent that anxiety from happening, and you see the hummingbird, that could be an accidental totem. So I get the question.
Okay, that works. Okay. With everything that is kind of going on, and with the totems that are being built, where do we put these? Where do we store our own? Are they stored in memory? Are they stored in some sort of spiritual bank that we have?
So there are two types of records that I know of, that I'm aware of. So there are record keeper records, and then there are the Akashic records. And there are also many other records that I may not be able to formulate in words, but the two main ones that I know of are the Akashic records and the record keeper records. So the record keeper can store what's called memory, what we call memory, and the things that we speak of, the things that we think of, the relationships that we have, and all that we are practicing spiritually can go into those records. And it can be pulled up at any time to either cleanse, to get rid of, to transmute when we no longer need it. When we want it to be elevated, it could also be pulled up that way. With the Akashic records, this is based off of the past. And so totems can also be stored in there also. And then the totems can just be stored in our minds and in our bodies and in our auras.
Got you. Do they include animals, like spirit animals?
Oh, definitely.
So if
From my
you
understanding,
go ahead, finish that, please.
from my understanding, the spirit animal and the totem are totally different, because the spirit animal is something you see in a dream, and you want the definition or the meaning of the animal appearing in a dream. But the totem is the one that goes to work on your behalf.
All right. So when it comes to spirit animals and the spirit totems that we have, I do believe that we do have certain animals that kind of follow us around. A lot of people have owls. Some people have birds. I know people who have butterflies. A good friend of mine, Samantha Mode, who is a lifelong ET contactee, when she is about to be taken, she sees blue butterflies.
Wow.
And it could be dead of winter, minus 30 degrees Celsius out. I'm not translating that because I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit. But she just sees blue butterflies. For me, when I started opening up spiritually, it was the face of a mountain lion that would come extremely close, like within inches of my nose. And I could never figure out the message. I just knew there was a message there. So when we're trying to figure out this as part of the animal totem that each and every one of us has, how does that differ from a regular totem?
So the totem is called a totem for a reason, so that you could call upon them to work on your behalf. It's sort of more of a ritual purpose. And then the spirit animal, they come to you with carrying messages from your spirit guides, if that's making any sense. So your spirit guides can send out a synchronicity into the universe as a message to you through an animal, through an insect, through an image. And the more you see this image, the stronger the message appears. Let's say, for example, if you continue to see the number 333, eventually your mind's going to click and you're going to say, okay, I'm going to find out what this is, And so that's just the spirit sending us messages in a way that we will accept it. We will be receptive to it. Because if they send, let's say, for example, if a stranger comes to your house, I'm pretty sure you're not going to be receptive to that stranger, but you will be more receptive to an animal or to a number that you keep seeing. And so that's how the spirit animals differ from the animal totem, if that makes any sense.
So what messages do animals on their totem try to give us? Because it's very difficult for us to kind of communicate with animals.
Okay, yes, it is. So when it comes to animals, you have to really, if you're not intuitive already, you have to tune in to see what kind of problems are you facing right now. What problems are you facing right now? And what's going on to even get to the answer as to why they're showing up. Like for you, that lion. The lion, any wild animal, represents a sense of adversity, especially cats, like the leopard or the jaguar. They represent adversity. In the mountain lion, they represent adversity in some sense of the word. It could also represent loss. And that mountain lion coming so close to your nose could represent that the change of adversity is imminent, and that you need to prepare yourself. You need to situate yourself so that you're receptive and you're not out of control or losing your mind, in a sense, that you have something to rely on, if that makes sense.
Jim is asking if it's possible for a bad spirit to enter your totem.
Yes, it is. It is possible.
Could you go into detail about that, please?
Okay, so the way that a bad spirit can enter the totem is if we have negative karma that's carrying forth. And so they can intercept the positive energy that the totem is trying to convey and make the adversity much stronger than it needs to be. If we don't have any karma, if we don't have any negative karma, then the strength of the adversity will be in the background of our mind, and we will receive the message and not the adversity. So the adversity may be there, but we'll overcome it much easier. If that makes sense.
Catherine is asking, can a totem be corrupted?
Yes, a totem can be corrupted. Same as if it planted, like if a negative spirit intercepted the totem. So yes, it can be corrupted, and it's very important that we continue to heal our spirit guides. We continue to heal our ancestors so that we can break generational curses and lineages that no longer serve us, so that we can receive the highest and best good for our current life and that of our future.
When we are communicating with our spirit animals, are they guides as well, or are they just messengers?
They're messengers, but they can also be guides. So, for example, if you don't have any known relatives, your spirit guides can come in the form of an animal, and because that's the only thing that you know. But if you have family members, then they'll come as messengers through that animal or through that insect or whatever synchronicity that's showing up.
So does each different type of animal bring a different message? So let's say, does an owl bring a different message than a dog or a cat or a raccoon?
Oh, definitely. So let me elaborate. The owl can represent higher, mysterious knowledge. It also represents the mystic. So the owl shows up to people who have innate power. It could show up for negative reasons. It could show up for positive reasons. So there are two reasons. Those are the two reasons why an owl would show up. So if you're an intuitive, it could mean that it's time for you to start to believe in yourself. Like, for example, different types of owls have different meanings, though. So, like, let's say a barn owl. A barn owl shows up to you. That can mean that it's time to store up your resources. If like a snowy owl showed up to you, it could mean that a storm is coming and that it's time to prepare for those storms. And those storms could be symbolic. It could be symbolic as to your life and the ventures that you're taking on, or it could be a message that the answer that you're seeking is a no. It's a no answer in regards to that business deal or that relationship. And then let's take, for example, the raccoon. The raccoon could represent that you need to protect your ideas. You need to protect your spirit or energy because there are competitors that are present there are many different meanings to these animals that show up, and they all have their own specific purpose.
Mm-hmm. So with that, and with each animal having its own different purpose, does this mean that they are going to come to us in a spiritual sense, maybe a dreamlike state? Or if they need to get the message across, will they come across in more of a lively state? Like, would all of a sudden, like, say you're getting messages from a cougar, would a cougar all of a sudden run across your path if you're driving a car or if you're walking your dog? Is that kind of how it works?
Oh, definitely. Yes, absolutely. So let's say you have an instinct to go to the store, and you're coming home from work and you get this inclination that you need to turn off on Blinkenship Road. And you don't normally go down this road, but you see a giraffe walking. You know that there's no possible way that there are giraffes that are domesticated. And there you see these zookeepers that are running and trying to tranquilize the giraffe, then you know that that's a sign. If you're walking to the park and you're feeling down in your spirit, and all of a sudden you see, let's say, for example, a Great Pyrenees, you know that Great Pyrenees are not really domestic animals; they're guardian dogs, and so that could be a message that it's time to move and pack up and go somewhere where you're celebrated. When I say where you're celebrated, I'm talking about to sort of fuel your soul and go where it makes you happy. And it may be time to move away from known loved ones or relatives of origin and create your own family. There are many ways to look at it.
Do spirit guides stick with you from birth until the end, or do they add on as time goes?
They add on as time goes. And if we really open our eyes and pay attention, we'll notice that these spirit guides are actually elevating, and they're strengthening our abilities to see things, see beyond what people have told us. Oh, that's normal. Oh, that's just a coincidence. And the spirit guide will actually show us that this is no mere coincidence. I'm actually here with you. And so they actually do travel from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime, and even from past lives that have nothing to do with this life that we're living.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm going to get you to hold on right there. Kornisha Lemon is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Her website, Kornisha.com. We're going to get into prophecies next. What's it like to predict something that is going to happen and have it come true? Next on Spaced Out Radio.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the CHIVE and CHIVE Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, CHIVE Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Finish off your weekend and kick off your new week with me, Everett Themer, right here on Spaced Out Sundays. I'm going to bring you great guests, a little bit of snark, and plenty of information to think about. But don't worry, there's going to be plenty of woo as well. We are going to hit everything in the paranormal and supernatural, including the odd psychic Sundays. So tune us in on Sunday, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio, you can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
We pass the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Great to have you with us. Reminder, if you've missed portions of this show or others, you can always check out our free YouTube channel, youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. You could go there, do a little shopping at the SOR Vault. You can sign up for the SOR Space Travelers Club. We're having a good chat in there tonight. Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire is updated daily, and get your horns up for Mr. Ron Bumblefoot THAL to rock us in and out of every single show. Tonight we are talking with Kornisha Lemon. She is an intuitive mystic out of the beautiful state of Texas. She has a great website called Kornisha.com, and we're going to be talking prophecies this hour. She has a book out called The Book of Prophecies, Whispers, Channels, Prophecies, and Visions, which she's going to tell us about where we can get it. Kornisha, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Where do we find your book? Let's get to the big stuff right off the bat.
Yay! So you can go to powerfulmystic8.com, and it's going to be in the services tab.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Why did you decide to write this about prophecies?
Okay, so actually it was part of my, you wouldn't believe it, but it was part of my Christian roots that sort of had me to help others while I help myself. So while going through that dark night of the soul moment, while I was transitioning, I was actually writing down things to myself. Sort of talking to myself on paper, and I said, hey, a spirit came to me and said, hey, you should really share this with others because that's your way out. That's your key and your key to freedom. And so I said, okay, well, I ain't got nothing to lose. So that's kind of what I did. I wrote it, and that's when people started to relate to it, and they were like, okay, wow, you're an expert on doves. Oh, wow, you're an expert on animals, too. You're an expert on this. You're an expert on that. And I would say, well, I give honor to the spirits for their knowledge to me and for teaching me. And so I was open to learning from the spirits. And so that's how I got all this information and prophecies from them.
So with that, what were you able to see about the future? Was it about future events around the world? Was it about future events in your own personal life?
Oh, definitely. I don't mean it to be morbid, but there are times where I was able to see celebrities passing before they passed away. I don't want to mention any names. But I would see a celebrity passing, and then I was guided by the spirit to either pray for them or to do some sort of energy work to help them transition. And like a day later, I would hear that they passed away, and I would know in my spirit that I did the right thing, that I helped them to transition in a peaceful, positive way. And also, my prophetic gift came about because I got tired. I grew tired of situations remaining the same. And so, if anybody's out there, they're tired and they're exhausted of feeling the same way or seeing things just go in patterns and circles, I would highly recommend declarations, and that's a form of prophetic speaking over your life of prophesying and letting the energy know that you're fed up and you're ready to move on. And so that's how this book came about, because I was fed up. I was tired. And so I wanted my situation to change, and I changed it for the better with the help of the spirit.
You know, I'm going to commend you on something. because you mentioned that you've seen famous people dying, and then unfortunately they do, but you refuse to mention names. Now, a lot of people will sit there and say, who? It's easy to say that you're doing that, but I think the fact that you don't is even better, because there's a lot of people in the paranormal field who will try and claim that, when a certain celebrity dies, that they've already had communication with them from the other side, and they try to exploit that for their own benefit. The fact that you're not wanting to do that, you're not doing it for exploitation or to bump up your own name, I commend you for that.
Thank you. And I don't want to be like that. I feel that this is a God-given gift, and I want to have the strongest of integrity. I don't care if I look like I'm trying to be better than other people, but at the end of the day, I want to have my integrity.
Perfect. I think that adds a lot of integrity to what you were saying, and I really do appreciate that. But when it comes to prophecy and the way it goes, how do you know when something is going to happen? What do you go through? What signals do you get is probably what I should ask.
So, actually, I saw my husband before I met him, and it's funny because I would ask him, who is this funny looking guy, and then I actually knew that I was going to have a girl before I even got pregnant. I just knew it, and it's like a chilling feeling that goes up and down my body, and it's like a voice that speaks to me, and it lets me know, hey, I'm going to take you here, I'm going to take you there. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I was homeless. I was homeless for a week, and in the shelter, there were a lot of women that were around me, and a lot of them were in there, and they were not in the right mental state. And I would just watch, and I wouldn't judge, but I would just watch, and I would just pay attention without judgment, without laughter, or without criticism. And so I was lying there one night after witnessing this, and the strongest feeling came over my body, and it told me, I'm going to take you to a better place. And so I left for personal reasons from Houston, not knowing where I was going to go in California, and that's how I ended up homeless. But the Spirit was with me, and I called the Spirit God, the divine, the highest power. And he whispered to me, I'm going to take you to a higher place. I have a special place in store for you. And then when I moved to Lockhart, that's like halfway through, I heard that voice again. I heard that voice again tell me that that special place is just around the corner. And I got chills again all over my body. And then my uncle, who I was living with at the time, he said, let's go over at my now husband's house. I don't want to go over his house. I don't know this wino. And so we actually ended up going. And this, the same face that I saw in the vision, it was the very same face that he had. And I'm like, what is going on, And I just kind of went with the flow. And that's how I received my prophecy. And that's how I was able to foresee things. And another way that I receive prophecies is through animals. Sometimes I can...
Tell me about that.
I can look into the eyes of the animal and kind of connect with their spirit. And I'll hear something that relates to my own life, and I'm like, wait a minute, how do you even know that, But, I try not to question spirit so much and just sort of go with the flow. Like, for example, I kind of know when it's time for a dog to go. Like, I had a dog named Buddy, and I could hear Buddy's thought that it was his time to go, because he did look a little sad. It was obvious that he looked sad, but he would tell me that he's not meant to be here too long, and the time is just around the corner. And so when it happened, I was a little sad, but at the same time, I knew that he was in good hands, and I still miss him. But that's how I receive my prophecies. Sometimes I look in the animal into the eyes, or sometimes by just a chilling feeling in my body that things are about to change, that things are about to shift. And it's just so overwhelming that I start to cry, but in a beautiful way.
What's it like to communicate with an animal that's about to move over?
You said, how do I communicate with an animal that's about to move over?
No, what's it like? Because
what's it like? Okay.
Yeah, and the reason why I ask that is 11 years ago, I had to put the best dog I ever had. I better keep that quiet because my dog is in the other room. But the best dog that I ever had, he had a stroke and he couldn't swallow. He was 9.5 years old, and he was just the perfect dog. And I remember looking at him the night before I was about to put him down, and I looked at him and I just said, and I remember I was bawling my eyes out, and I was like, dude, just tell me what's wrong. Tell me what I need to do. And I will never forget, because I was holding his face really close to mine, where we were almost nose to nose, and he just gave me these big, tired eyes. And I remember the message. It was just like, Dad, I'm done. And when I got that message from him, holy cow, did I lose it. I just lost it.
Right.
And there was nothing I could do. Absolutely nothing. Right. And so I got that message from him. This is way before I got into all of this. But, even talking about it hurts today. What's that like to get that message? What does it feel like? What are you translating when you get that message for an animal that's about to cross over?
So it's really heartbreaking when I have to do that, when I have to talk to the animal. It could be a lion. It could be a cat that I have to give to another relative because maybe I can't take care of it. And it's a really moving moment that they know it's what's best for them. Or, like, for example, I had to give up a lot of cats before I had my baby because I was scared of getting bacteria. Because they say that if you're cleaning the cans of the cat, you could get a certain type of bacteria and the baby could become deformed. And so in order to avoid the risk, I had to give away a lot of my cats. And so before doing this, I sort of could connect with the cats, and they would connect back to me, knowing that their time was up. And it's really hard. It's not easy. It means it's a learning process, but it's not easy. It's not at all easy, and it's very heartbreaking. It's like, okay, what have I just done? I've given them away, and I hope it doesn't weigh on my karmic debt. But and that's the feeling that you get. You're like, oh, okay, am I going to have that karma for this, or is it something that's necessary? And you'll get the feeling that, okay, it's necessary. And so over time, you heal and you let go, but you're always going to remember. You can never move forward without looking back at how far you've come and the things you've done to get there. So they'll always be in the back of my mind.
You mentioned that you had seen that you were going to have a daughter, a beautiful, healthy daughter, which you do now, who's 5 months old. Do you see her Do you see her future?
I do. She's very active and very intelligent, and I feel that she's going to be some sort of legal leader, sort of like Maxine Waters. I'm not sure if you heard of her, but I just feel this strong spirit inside of her that's waiting to do something in the world, so that she can make her difference. She can make her mark. That's what I see about her.
That would be wonderful. That would be wonderful. Have you ever communicated with a child inside the womb?
Oh, yes. So me and my daughter, we would talk back and forth in the room. I would telepathically communicate to her that I'm scared of her coming into this world, and she would tell me, no, don't worry, and that would sort of give me a sense of comfort and happiness that she's going to be okay. She's going to do really good. And I've also communicated with animals that were just born, but not in my presence. For example, we had a goat that had babies, and one of them died. One of them passed on, and for some reason, I just felt like that was not the end of it. Like there was something that was missing, and lo and behold, I go to the back, and because the spirit told me to go into the back, and I hear a goat going, nah, nah, and so I look down the hole, and there's this goat that I tell my husband to go and get, and so it's like that high intuitive ability that tells me to speak to this or speak to that, and that also relates back to the prophetic gift that it's not over. It's not over, and there's a light at the end of this tunnel. You just have to wait,
Do animals go to the light?
Animals do go to the light, and sometimes they're reborn.
Really?
Yes. Sometimes they're reborn into another species. For example, if a cat has lived out their lives, they say that a cat has 9 lives. I'm not sure how true that is because I'm not a cat, but if a cat has lived out their life as a cat, they can reincarnate as an owl, as an eagle, depending on what they've done in this life or the previous life. If they have more lives to live, they may be reborn in another cat. And you could say, oh, wow, that cat looks like a cat I had years ago. That's weird. It's odd. Looks just like it, and that's because that cat reincarnated and you're meeting in a different way.
Can we get the same pets through reincarnation? So, for instance, my dog, who passed away, I've had a couple dogs pass away, but could one of them reincarnate to come back to me as another pet?
Yes, definitely. They can carry forth the same spirit, same soul, but in a different vessel. Like, say, for example, if you were to get a bird and you just feel like a calling to that specific bird, and that you get that bird home and you don't know why at first that you were so drawn to that bird, and you get it home and it starts barking like a dog or it starts acting like a dog. That's sort of a sign of reincarnation, and it starts to portray the characteristics of the dog that you have. That's a sign of reincarnation. So absolutely, they can reincarnate in different species.
That would be cool. I'm still waiting. I really am. But I'm more into now I'm not into puppy training anymore.
Right.
I'm more into taking in older dogs. I think that's what I'm going to be doing now. I kind of like them. They're calm.
Right.
So I don't mind that. I really don't mind that at all. What kind of messages do we get from animals? Because we've always heard that, I believe Science, the last article I read on it, was that, only the smartest dogs can communicate at maybe a 5-year-old level of human. That's what it would equate to. On a spiritual side, how are they communicating?
So a dog may communicate that they're not loved anymore, that, you said in a spiritual sense. So in a natural sense, they may say, they're not loved anymore. They need this or they need that. But on a spiritual sense, let's say, for example, a German Shepherd. A German Shepherd may appear to let you know that you need to guard your home, protect yourself. Things may be about to get ugly or stormy in the world, and you need to ground yourself and buckle down so that you're prepared. You're prepared for the ship. For example, a whale may appear to you. Let's say that you're fishing, and all of a sudden a beluga whale just passes by and it won't leave you alone and starts circling that boat. That could be a sign of harvest about to come in. So there are many spiritual differentiations with these spiritual animals and their meanings and their prophetic gifts. So if I were to look and stare into the eyes of a jaguar painting, and if I were to ask that painting through the spirit of the jaguar, through the essence of the jaguar, to give me a message about a situation, like let's say, for example, if I wanted a message about what's going on in the world and what I could do to help, that jaguar would probably tell me to use my gift, my ability, light a candle, say some prayers, because my prayer has healing, my words have power, and to go out and influence people in a positive way to share their voice, and so that we can see a better balance in the world. And so that's how the spirit, how they communicate in the spirit realm, in a spiritual way.
We only got about 90 seconds before we're going to go to break at the top of the hour. Kornisha Lemon is our guest tonight. Kornisha, I'm wondering, in regards to this with the animals, what signs do we look for? Maybe even around our own pets, that they are trying to communicate with us.
So I'm going to use a bird again because that's what I'm shown. So let's say you have a bird in the house, and it starts to pretend like it's fainting. That could be a prophetic message that you need to go get your lungs checked. Because I deeply know within my being that sometimes the animals, they can detect what's wrong with us health-wise. And so let's say that the bird keeps saying, hello, hello. That could be a sign that somebody's that's a prophetic sign that somebody's maybe about to call that hasn't called in a while. Or let's say the bird starts to peck at the doorknob. That could be an unannounced visitor. It's just so many prophetic messages that you have to pay attention to. Or let's say that the bird is playing with money or coin or loose coins you have laying around the house. That could be a sign of a windfall. Just so many messages could be allayed through the spirit bird, or the spirit of a bird, or any animal for that matter. You just have to pay attention to what they're telling you.
I'm going to get you to hold on right there. Kornisha Lemon is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We only got her for another 30 minutes. Where we're going, I have no idea. We're just going to play it by ear. Why not? It's more fun that way anyways. Kornisha's website, Quornesha.com. So make sure you check her on out. And her book, too. The Book of Prophecies, Whispers, Channels, Prophecies, and Visions. Actually, let's talk some channeling when we come back, shall we? Let's. Hour 3 next.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the CHIVE and CHIVE Charities. If you know anything about our website, you'd know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, CHIVE Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio, you can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Thiemer. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch. Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for being with us. We're going to start off thanking everyone for listening in on our digital side on Kingdom of Nye Radio and Revolution Radio. On the terrestrial sides, we are on KZFX 93.7 FM in Ridgecrest, California, KDNF AM 1560 in Dangerfield, Texas, KDUN AM 1030 in Reedsport, Oregon. Down in Noonan, Georgia, we are on WQEE 99.1 FM, and of course, UPRN 107.7 FM in New Orleans. Our archives are free for you at youtube.com/spaced out radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Now, let's get to the password, shall we? The Desert Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Tonight's password? I don't even know how to pronounce this. Acer Sakomic? Acer Sakomic? Is that it? Is that it? I think so. The Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Now, our website, spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. You can rock out to Bumblefoot. You can read up on the Newswire. Captain Shirk has us way underway there, so we can do that. And, of course, you can always sign up for the SOR Newswire, or, pardon me, Space Travelers Club for $5 a month. You can also go do a little bit of shopping at the Spaced Out Radio store, which we call the SOR Vault. And don't forget about We Read the Night. Yes, we got great books. We got more coming. Great authors coming along. You can get your books right there as well. For the final time tonight, we introduce our guest, Kornisha Lemon. She is a mystic out of the state of Texas. She does readings, tarot cards, channeling, spirit communication, totems. What doesn't this young lady do? I don't know. But we're going to find out. We're going to get into channeling next. Her website is Quornesha.com. Kornisha, welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem whatsoever. What's it like to channel a spirit?
It's very interesting, and it's a learning experience. So for me, when I channel, I go to the spirits for reassurance. And whenever you're feeling insecure in your gift or in a life situation, you could turn to the spirits and channel information that could later on be made evident or be made known. Like, let's say, for example, if you're taking a test and you want to know how you're going to do or what steps you could take ahead of time to prepare yourself have a notebook and a pen and start to channel and channel all those messages that they're sending through to you. And what it means to channel is to hear and to record. So you're basically using the typewriter or a computer, and you're typing out those messages that you're receiving from Spirit. And you're sitting there, you're asking those questions in your mind. Okay, Spirit or Grandma, what do you think about this situation? What should I do? And they'll let you know, okay, maybe it's time to move on from this situation. You've been lingering on it for a long time now. It's time to move on. There's better ahead. Things like that of that nature. And it's very reassuring. And you have to be open to correction.
All right. So when a spirit comes in, how do you know it's the actual spirit? So let's say I wanted to channel my grandfather who passed away in 1995. How do I know it's him and not something malevolent?
Right. Okay. So you can ask a personal question, like, what's your favorite color? Or what's something that you guys did together that really stood out? You can test the spirits. You really can, because there's scripture that says test the spirit to see if it's from God. So you can also test the spirits to see if it's from your lineage, and you can test those spirits and ask them to reveal things that others may not know, like a secret or family heirloom. And if you go to that heirloom and you find it there, then you can find reassurance that you are connected to that divine spirit, and it's not some malevolent trickster spirit. Because I've been known to in my experimental days to attract malevolent spirits that were telling me the opposite of what was true. So that's a really that's a great question that you asked.
When a spirit comes into your body, what happens?
What happens? For everyone, it's different. For me, it's more of a chilling down my spine and through my body, like a pulsing feeling, like I know that it's of a higher power. When it's malevolent, I feel stress. I feel anxiety. And so it may be different for other people. You may get headaches if it's a malevolent spirit. You may feel pain. You may feel aches in your heart. But if it's of love, then it's like a good feeling in the gut. You know that it's of a higher power.
Now, I have personally channeled. I know you don't know that, but I have.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I noticed is the next day after channeling, I feel like I am completely hungover. Like I did a hard night of boozing with the boys at the local bar and got about 2-3 hours sleep, and now I'm up having to start my day. I feel that groggy, that wasted, no energy, headache, my neck is usually sore. Do you go through that too?
In the beginning, I did go through that, feeling like low energy. And then also when I channel for other people, I also feel low. Like if they have heavy energy, I start to feel like they feel, and I find myself having to go outside and clear energy. So for example, if I'm clearing somebody of their sadistic thoughts, it's sort of like I carry that weight for a moment, and I have to immediately go outside and touch a tree to get rid of that excess energy. And so, yes, I feel it, but in a different way. So everybody is unique at how they feel when they channel.
Have you channeled animals before?
Oh, definitely. I channel them all the time with the blog, and even on my Powerful Mystic 8 website. I channel animals all the time, like the jaguar. I have it on my wall, and every time I look at it, it tells me a different story. It tells me a different prophecy. It tells me a different motivation or fortune that I can look forward to. So I've channeled animals all the time.
That's kind of cool. That is kind of cool. When you are channeling, how do you set yourself up for it? Like, do you prepare yourself? Do you like candles? Do you have crystals around?
No, because I'm natural. I inherited my gift, so I don't have to light any candles. I don't have to put any crystals. I just pray, or I put my hand over the painting or on the table, and I just ask that specific being teach me what I need to know about this specific situation. Or if I just need something in general for the world, I'll just go to the keyboard, and then I'll just connect myself with that animal in my mind and hold their image in my mind's eye. Let's say, for example, the elephant. I'll hold that image in my mind's eye. If I went to the zoo and I felt like the animal stood out to me, I would ask, what was the message? If it did something unique that other animals didn't do, I would ask, what is the message of the animal? And I would start to type. So basically, channeling is being ready for the message by typing it out and being open to hearing and not just citing it off as coincidence.
Isn't that where automatic writing comes into play as well?
Definitely, yes.
So how does automatic writing work? That one confuses me.
Okay, so automatic writing and channeling go hand in hand. So automatic writing, you don't have a preconceived notion as to what you're looking for. You just go with the flow. Channeling, you sort of know what that meaning or the purpose of that animal is, and so you go off of that. You come from that position, as opposed to automatic writing. You're just writing for whatever pops into your head.
Have you ever been taken over without your permission?
No, actually, I've experienced hag writing. It's like when you're paralyzed to the point where you can't move. So sleep paralysis. That's the only way, because I feel that, not to toot my own horn, I feel that I'm a little bit too powerful for them to affect me in my waking state. So in my sleeping state, I feel that I'm a little bit weak. I'm not able to defend myself, and so I felt attacked when I'm sleeping in the past.
What kind of attacks were those?
These were attacks that snatched my soul out of my body and had me floating above it to the point where I was fighting to get back in. So those are the type of attacks I'm talking about.
Do you, when you are attacked, bring out an array of your spirit guides to try and battle through that, or how do you cleanse yourself?
So, in the process of getting back into my body after this attack, I would actually call on a higher power, like Adonai. That's the name of the 72 names of God. Or I would call upon Yahweh to assist me through that transition or getting back into my physical form. And I'll call it out at least 3 times. And I find that it works, that works for me. Now, for other people, they may call upon an Orisha or an angel like St. Michael to cut all ties associated with that attack in order to get back to their physical form. But for me, it's always been like a god of some sort that would help me through that process.
I get that. Do you ever feel spiritually dirty after going through a channeling session where you just have to cleanse yourself? Maybe you hop in the shower or go for a walk barefoot on the grass so that way you can release the energy. If so, what is that like?
Yes, it's mostly when I'm channeling for somebody else, because when I'm channeling for myself, I feel that it's all pure energy, because I only welcome in good things, and I actually ask for any negative things that may be oncoming that I need to avoid. And so when I'm channeling for somebody else, the energy may be a little bit more sadistic, so I have to go outside and and either hug one of my Pyrenees dogs or play with the goat or even touch the ground to sort of ground my energy and give away that excess energy back to the universe.
Great Pyrenees dogs. Those are very protective dogs. My buddy up here has one.
Mm-hmm.
The funny part about it is this dog hates two things. Hates bears and it hates moose. And if one of those two are in his yard, that dog goes haywire. Absolutely haywire, and chases it right out. That dog has chased so many bears up trees. It's unbelievable. It's hilarious. Very protective dogs. Beautiful dogs, too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Sharon has a question for you. She is asking, have you ever channeled a being which allowed you to speak light language? If so, were you able to interpret what you were speaking?
I've channeled languages before, but it only happens in my sleep. I'm speaking in tongues, and but I've never really channeled in a different language other than German, and I was never really able to interpret those because it comes through by song, and it's like something I can't control. And I go back to look up those words, and I find that I can't find the meaning because I can't find the spelling to them. And if I try to sing them to Google or Amazon, then I still can't find them. So I've never been able to interpret those words. I just feel that I have to go off on an intuitive basis where if it feels right, I know that it's for my highest good, and I don't need to know it right now. If it feels negative, then that means it's something I should not be repeating.
Follow-up question from Sharon. She is asking about shadow people. What's your definition of them? Are they good or evil spirits?
No, shadow people can be really good because I feel that I feel what India.Arie said in her song, that a life without pain is a wolf in sheep's clothes, and that shadows make us whole. So shadow people can actually assist us with the dark energies in our world, and that everything has a purpose. So I do not discount shadow people.
How come so many people believe they are evil then, or have just that aura about them?
I want to be candid and say that a lot of the spiritual work has been watered down. Is it watered down because of fear? Like the voodoo, it's not really negative. It really isn't. People have put that fear out there to kind of scare people to kind of steer them away from that path, when it actually is just a higher honoring of the spirit. It's just that you're steering away from religion. And I feel that in order to control a people, they place religion before them, and they take away their natural right to help themselves, if that makes any sense.
Excellent. So when you are having that situation happen with shadow people and you are trying to decipher whether they are good or evil, are there any signs that kind of tip you off to which way they are going?
Okay, so for someone who's not like myself, the way to determine a demonic entity is how do you feel? Do you taste metal? Do you feel like you need to go shower? Do you feel like do you feel an over desire of sex? Those are lower vibrations. If you feel an over desire of anger or the need to be violent, those are signs that you're dealing with a lower vibration, such as a demonic entity. If you're dealing with a higher spirit, you start to not really care about people's thoughts, opinions of you. You start not to worry about how others see you or how you look to the world. You start to accept yourself. And so that's how you can differentiate if you're dealing with a light or negative spirit.
Do you mainly deal in the light?
Oh, definitely. Even with my rituals, I only deal with the light, and I try my best not to manipulate things against anybody's will.
Makes sense. We only have about 3 minutes left with you tonight. This is a show that has absolutely flown on by, and I'm almost sad that this one's, well, at least this portion with you is almost over. I'm very sad about that because we're having such a good time here.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about your website. What can people find on there in order to get more known about you?
Okay, so I do have an about page. I have a lot of different services and solutions. I offer life coaching as well, and I have a spiritual university where people can come to learn, and there are no restrictions as to if you have an ability or not, or if you learn from somewhere else. I teach you based off of what you need to know, what your skills and abilities are, and not based off of what I know, but what your skills are. And I teach you from that standpoint, and I teach from an intuitive aspect. And then there's also more totems that I'm writing upon, and prophetic numbers. So I did a blog already on Quornesha.com about the ancient numbers, but on my Powerful Mystic 8 website, I'm doing prophetic numbers, so prophecies for our time.
Well, that sounds quite busy. Where do you find the time with that and being a brand new mother as well?
Well, I haven't written much lately, but I find time when the Spirit leads. So whenever the Spirit leads, I follow. Of course, for the highest good of all involved, including myself.
Well, that's good. That's good. How do you maintain your energy, though? Are you meditating? Are you just eating well, trying to sleep when you can? Because having a young one like that can be tough.
Right. Well, she allows me to sleep because she sleeps with me. And then to replenish my energy, I eat a lot of seafood. And I love to go to the park here in Lockhart. That's like 15 minutes away from us. I go to the park to feed the ducks and sort of just get out of the house. That's my key, to get out of the house and just go do something else and not be so focused on other stuff, and sort of a lot of self-care. That's how I keep up.
Well, Kornisha, I want to say thank you so much for coming on Spaced Out Radio tonight. What an absolute pleasure to have you on. And I did let my buddy Quest at Quest Nation know that he has to have you on. So if he gives you a call, make sure you do his show because it's pretty darn good as well.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Kornisha Lemon, everybody. Her website, Kornisha.com. Go check it on out. Coming up next, we have the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Day as we're going to finish off strong here on Spaced Out Radio. Stay tuned.
A little bit of science, a little bit of skepticism. Add a dash of snark and you have the makings of Spaced Out Sundays with me, Everett Thiemer. Together we will look into the reality of the paranormal with an open eye and rational thought. Oh, did I mention there'll be plenty of woo as well? Your time spent with Spaced Out Sundays will make the night even better. The chat rooms are open, 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Hey, Spaced Out Radio fans! It's John Resig, founder of the CHIVE and CHIVE Charities. Our goal is to make the life of veterans, first responders, and those with rare medical conditions 10% happier. We do this by donating one grant item, ranging from vans to therapy programs to prosthetic limbs, to those who need it most. To contribute to Spaced Out Radio's official charity, head over to chivecharities.org and become a donor today.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thaw, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Move over, brother, and let me own Saturday night.
This is Rich Giordano, and I'm inviting you to tune on in to Spaced Out Saturdays starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern, where I'm going to bust open the lids on everything paranormal. Why? Because we want answers, and I'm the guy who's going to deliver those answers to you. Join the chat rooms, and we'll see you this Saturday. Just be there. No, really.
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair here. What a great interview with Kornisha Lemon. I'm just thrilled about that one. Totally thrilled. Remember, her website is Kornisha.com. Anyhow, hey, if you've missed most of this show or others, you can always go to our free YouTube channel, youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. You can rock out to Bumblefoot, read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, sign up for the SOR Space Travelers Club, do a little shopping at the SOR Vault, pick up yourself a new book at We Read the Night, and so much more. That's why we say a plethora of features for you. Speaking of the news, it's that time again. Here we go. The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show, where we get to the weird, the strange, and sometimes topical. So tonight we're going to start off with Danny Silva, who's a guest on this show. He has a silver record. He's got a cool story on his site tonight, where longtime Robert Bigelow associate, NIDS member, BASS member, and co-author of Hunt for the Skinwalker and TTSA advisory board member, Dr. Colm Kelleher, may no longer be associated with Tom DeLonge's group. Yeah, well, at least his photo and biography have been taken off the website. Dr. Kelleher was a member of Bigelow's National Institute for Discovery Science. When he was with NIDS, he studied Skinwalker Ranch, among other things, went on to co-author the Skinwalker book with George Knapp. Dr. Kelleher was the deputy administrator for Bigelow Advanced Aerospace Space Studies under the DIA's OSAP program from 2008 to 2012. Since OSAP funding was cut, ending BASS, he has continued to work with Bigelow Aerospace. So why the change? We don't know. We're waiting for the news to come down. Dr. Kelleher, according to Danny, likely has his hands full with Bigelow Aerospace, which may have played a factor in his alleged exit. If Colm has in fact left TTSA, the full set of reasons will not be known unless public statements are released. Do we really expect anything to be released from this group? Really? Kind of a busy TTSA day, because there's another story here on them. And the questions surrounding Luis Elizondo on whether he ever actually worked on the ATIP program. Yeah, still going around. That's right. So this is where we get. Apparently, this writer, named Jazz Shaw, has been looking into this story ever since reading up on John Greenwald's Black Vault. And they're waiting to see whether or not anything comes out about Elizondo. So Jazz goes on to write, I am certainly not the first person to bring this up, and I'm riding on the backs of a lot of researchers who have done the painstaking work. But here's the big unknown. Elizondo is regularly introduced as the guy who ran the ATIP program for years. If anyone should know about the military's effort to figure out what's been buzzing around our skies, it's him, right? Except there is virtually no evidence that he's ever worked with the program. One person to pick up on his curiosity story was Keith Clure of The Intercept. He kept poking around and asking questions, but only ever found one reference to a confirmation of Elizondo being in ATEP. It came from a Politico story back in December 2017. Pentagon spokeswoman named Dana White was quoted as saying the program existed and was run by Elizondo, but she left the job later on, and another Pentagon spokesperson, Chris Sherwood, told Clure that he could not confirm White's statement. This where John Greenwald jumped in, who's been relentless in launching a blizzard of FOIA requests to the government and the military trying to get to the bottom of this mystery, and it really is a mystery, because the more rocks he kicked over, the more strange inconsistencies came to light. So to be clear, there is no doubt Elizondo did work for the government for a long time before he retired to join To the Stars, and he was in very deep with one of the highest security clearances available. But where did he work, and how, if at all, was it related to ATIP? Greenwald's relentless digging finally turned up some national documents showing that Elizondo was the director of the National Program Special Management Staff. Yeah, what it is, we have no idea. Almost. It barely exists in public records, but you had to have an awfully high level of clearance to be aware of it. So the big question is, did he or didn't he work for ATIP? Think about that. A former captain in the United States Navy Medical Corps, former retired NASA astronaut Jerry Linenger, claims that he encountered several anomalies during his time in space. Yeah, Linenger spent a total of 132 days aboard the Russian space station Mir back in 1997. And recently, he went on to say strange things were seen out of Mir. He's going to say this, or he did say this. Well, I'm going to stick my neck out, but how many people think I saw a UFO when I was up there? He said. Well, I did. I saw things in the true sense of the word, unidentified flying objects. Don't take me out of context here. No aliens. But I saw stuff that made me call my crewmates over and say, what the heck is that? The first astronaut ever to conduct a spacewalk outside a foreign space station, Linenger was joined by 2 Russian cosmonauts during his time on Mir. On several occasions, the crew would spot something unusual out in space, but were unable to determine if they were looking at a large object in the distance or a small object that was just outside. Is it something 100,000 miles away that's the size of a big spacecraft, he said? It's very hard to distinguish that. Usually it was something you could kind of explain, maybe an external tank or something like that, but you would see things and go, wow, that's cool. I don't know what that was exactly, but it's not a satellite. You definitely, just like when you see something weird on Earth, call everyone over and like, I don't care what you're doing, get over here and take a look at this. I wonder if more astronauts will come out about that now. I hope so. Okay, you know how I hate, and I know Captain Shirk literally set this up because she knew she was going to get me on fire with this one. And you know how I hate useless lab studies. Well, this one may be up there. Oh, I'm definitely thinking it is. In another waste of money at a university, probably got a big grant for this as well. I'd like to find that out. The University of Richmond have a lab where they have learned to do something useless. Yeah. They have taught rats how to successfully drive themselves to pick up food. Think about that, people. We are training rats to drive cars to go pick up food. Little microbial cars. Not microbial, but I wanted to say that. Little robots. The furry drivers were taught to navigate a custom-built rat car, and then findings suggest the rats may possess a greater ability to learn tasks than previous thought. The experiment was a brainchild of the University of Richmond neuroscientist Kelly Lambert. Lambert and her colleagues created a tiny car out of an empty food container and retrofitted it with an aluminum bar and 3 copper bars for a steering wheel. The copper bar steering wheel and the aluminum floor create an electrical current that could propel the car forward. The rats, when properly trained, could control the direction of the car by gripping left, middle, or right bar with their tiny paws. The scientists trained the rats by constantly rewarding them with Fruit Loops every time they touched a moving plastic car forward. Eventually, the scientists went a step further and created a 4 square meter rectangular box for the rats to drive around in. The team gradually placed the Fruit Loops further and further away, encouraging the rats to fine-tune their driving. They learned to navigate the car in unique ways and engaged in steering patterns that they've never used to eventually arrive at their reward. None of the 11 male or 6 female rats in the experiment learned the same way. Yeah, Lambert says the type of environment the rats were surrounded by affected the way they learned. The rats that lived in the complex, stimulating environment learned how to drive significantly faster than those living in dreary, boring laboratories. Those data suggest that we gain experiential capital if we have challenging, dynamic lifestyles that transfer to learning acquisition. Okay, that's enough. This is rats we're talking about. Rats. Okay, yeah, they're cute. Okay, they make a good ratatouille. We all saw that movie. Okay, they can cook. You just put the right amount of spice in. Okay, we get that. But you're not going to grab your pet rat, maybe it's named Armand or something like that. Say, hey, Armand, the game is on. I need you to go to the store to pick up something for dinner. What a waste of money. Now, of course, the scientists, they'll try and break it into human terms as to why they're doing this. No, it's a waste of money. This is your money and my money that they are getting from the government to go on these stupid things that they need to do. These are university-educated people, right? And yet the dude down in New Mexico gets almost fired from his job for spending a mere $7,000 on Sasquatch education. Moronic. Absolutely moronic. Thanks, Captain Shirk, for firing me up. You're probably laughing in your lounger right now. Don't spill on your flannel pajamas, lady. The cotton industry hopes to launch a new market for genetically modified cotton plants whose seeds are edible for humans. Really? We're going to eat cotton? I can't even stand a cotton... Shirk, you did it again. She knows I hate cotton balls. They freak me out. They feel gross in your hand. They feel horrible when they touch your skin. Okay? And now she's trying to shove cotton down my throat. Have you ever tried to chew a cotton ball? It's horrible. It's terrible. The push comes after the Food and Drug Administration okayed the modified plant for human consumption in late September. Cotton groups called it a historic decision, one that could change the industry and help feed millions of people. The humanitarian aspect of this all is pretty important, says James Pruden, a spokesperson for the Cotton Incorporated, a North Carolina-based research and promotion organization for the cotton industry. Cotton can be grown on any continent except Antarctica, and it thrives in areas where you can't grow other crops. This plant could give people a cash crop and a food crop in one. Standard cotton is poisonous to humans because it contains toxic levels of a substance called gossipol, which protects the plants from insects and other pests. The newly appointed or approved plant was engineered to produce a protein-rich seed that has little gossipol, the ultra-low gossipol seed, and about the size of a pine nut, is safe to eat, and could become a valuable human food source, scientists say. There are 10.8 million tons of protein locked up in our yearly output of cottonseed, said Kirti Rathore, a professor at Texas A&M's Institute for Plant Genomics and Biotechnology, who developed the gospel-free cotton plant. If we could use that protein as a food source, we have the potential to feed 500 million people. All right. But it's a GMO. So how healthy is that going to be? I don't know. Can we not just send them people wheat? What happened to wheat? The skeletons of a woman and a child have been discovered in the Tower of London, the first skeletons found at the famous historic site in nearly 50 years. The fortress, which is nearly 1,000 years old, is infamous as a former prison and site of execution for those found guilty of treason. 2 of the 6 wives of King Henry VIII, Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard, were beheaded in the Tower complex. Alfred Hawkins, historic buildings curator for the Historic Royal Palaces, which oversees the Tower of London, explained that the skeletons of the unknown woman and child were uncovered earlier this year. Archaeologists spotted them when they were excavating outside the entrance to the Tower's chapel of St. Peter and Vincula. Where's it Vincula? St. Peter ad Vincula. Whatever. I'm not up on my British history. The excavation, bad Commonwealth guy, bad. See, Shirk's got me all fired up now. The excavation was part of a project to improve and access to the chapel found the remains of a woman who was the ages between 35 and 45 at the time of her death, and the skeleton of her 7-year-old child. All right, that's good enough for the news tonight. Shirky's got me fired up. Thanks, Captain. Thought of the Day happens every night at this time, where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. Yeah, we do. Today's Thought of the Day is as follows. What do you do to try and improve yourself on a daily basis? William, I constantly make choices that don't impact the planet. Oh, that's yesterday's. Son of a gun. Hold on. No, that was yesterday's. I read that yesterday. Where's the new one? Darn it, I pulled the wrong one up. Here we go. This is a good one. What is something awesome you've accomplished this week? Chris, we have inched nearer to reversing the curse. We should be and can be much farther along, though. Okay, I don't know what curse that is. JJ, between work and sleep, I managed to get my vote in, even if there was no good choices. Sparky, I completed painting my outdoor shed in my yard. Very nice, Sparky. Tom Whitmore, former guest, he says, I finished my blog. It's posted at tomwhitmoreblog.wordpress.com. Lee, if I don't end up getting killed for putting these new videos and pictures on Facebook at UFOs, that will be an accomplishment. So far, I think you've survived, Lee. Kelly, being on vacation. I've been to Colonial Williamsburg, Jamestown, and New York. Really need to take in the haunted tours. John, I pooped today. That's about it. Good for you, John. Good colon cleansing never hurts anybody. Angie, I got moved. Robin, I did the laundry. Gabe, I killed 2 pallets of nails at work in an hour. Jim, still opiate free. Awesome, Jim. Good for you. Love you. Ray, I scared Sam on the driving course. It was so much fun. Michelle, I was the last guest on a Halloween special podcast out of Niagara Falls, Ontario. It was fun. Essie, I try to be a decent person, and I'm usually successful. Rarely do I have a grievous lapse, but I did last week, and I just couldn't deal with it. Put my tail between my legs and confess to having been a jerk. Patrick, I'm 2 weeks sober. Great job, Patrick. Ron, didn't tell anyone what I really thought. Good one. Catherine, I saw amazing art on top of a secluded building. It's gorgeous art, too. She actually put a photo up there. Uncle Dale, hey, it's only Wednesday. There's 4 working days left this week. You know he was rubbing his mustache when he wrote that. Rose, landscaping a very large yard without anything other than hand tools for a friend. That's nice. Coral, I cooked some meals for people that needed warm, nourishing food. Good for you. That's awesome. Dave, I got out of bed. The Ukrainian watermelon. I am saying hello to Dave Scott and the SOR family. Chris, separated from a toxic situation, both mental and physical. Matthew, I installed some fancy-looking trim around my house. Robert, finished writing a full book proposal for my most recent book in progress, the new book titled No Time Like the Present to Reform Ufology. Yeah, we're going to have Bob back on the show for that one. Brad, another chapter in my next book. Jeez, I got to get writing on mine. Marty, so proud that I made it all the way to Wednesday. And Scott gets the final one. Says, I didn't kill anyone stupid. Thank you for participating in the Thought of the Dave today. We'll do it all again tomorrow on Twitter and on Facebook. Yeah. Big thanks to Captain Shirk for putting the news together, getting me all fired up again. Thanks, Captain. I know you're laughing still, pointing your finger at your phone, looking at me. Yeah. And, of course, thank you to Kornisha Lemon for coming on the show tonight, being a great guest. Kornisha.com is her website, so make sure you go and check her on out. I'm just happy about tonight. Tonight was a good show. Tonight was a very good show. I'll tell you something happy that happened to me today. I'll tell you. I helped a friend out. Going through a tough time, and I helped her out. You always got to be there for people. Even though sometimes they may not be there for you. It's all about the ride, not the journey. Or is it about the journey and not the ride? That would be the one I'm looking for. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot THAL rocking in the background with Little Brother Is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, in your cars, at work, in our chat rooms, including our brand new SOR Space Travelers Club on our website. Wherever you may be, remember this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. I know you're out there somewhere. Thank you so much for sharing your evening with us. Truly is an honor because I get to enjoy what I do each and every night. Because together, my friends, we're watching. We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Have a great night, everybody. Horns up. Rock out. Good night.